everybody, it is Renee, and I am on my way to the airport, so I'm heading to our home in Las Vegas. So just thought I would hop on. I had a busy morning of meeting with clients and listening to a lot of what is going on, and you know, I have a couple of clients that have been really, over the summer months, they really had a tough time getting back on track. And so one of my clients in particular is just a lovely, lovely lady, and she's a super hard worker, and she has, you know, really taken care of everybody else in her life for a very long time. And now she's trying to make some changes for herself. And I know that one of the things that brought her in to my clinic was that, you know, she really had struggled for a long time with being an amazing mom, or not struggled. She'd been an amazing mom. She'd been an amazing business person. At one point, she was working with some other, you know, she's managing some other diet companies, and still, you know, has struggled over the years. And so she came in to see me as a referral, and she did amazing, right on track, 100%. We, you know, lost like 40 pounds, and then life changed. So what happened right around the May time frame, her daughter was getting married. She was feeling amazing. I mean, she lost 40 pounds. Now, you know, granted, she did have a little more ways to go, you know, we would be done by now, so that has to be really kind of heavy on her mind. You know, my thing always is do whatever works for you, because this doesn't end. There's no ending to lifestyle. So making lifestyle changes, hopefully they're permanent. And that's, you know, really what my goal is in meeting with my clients, is to create permanent change. And that can happen over a period of time, and nothing is perfect. So, you know, here she lost her 40 pounds, and she, you know, was traveling, what have you, and took a month where she was gone from the clinic, and she came back, and she was right exactly where she was when she left, which to me is like the biggest, most gigantic win, is that you went off protocol. You know, I like people to stabilize, but that's not what we did. But she was able to maintain anyway, and that was awesome. And like, her daughter made sure she had a, you know, protocol meal for the wedding, and you know, she really she had to meet all kinds of family, and you know, it was a big event. So, you know, realistically, in her past life, that could have been, you know, a month of, you know, going to parties and rehearsal dinners, and you know, everybody's eating and drinking and all this stuff around her. So it could have been a 10-pound gain, who knows? But she stayed right where she was, and I thought that was amazing, and a great win. So then over the summertime, you know, it's been up 3 pounds, down 3 pounds, up 3 pounds, down 3 pounds. And, you know, we were talking over the last couple of weeks, and one of the things that really came out was that she, you know, is rebellious towards a family member who tends to, you know, kind of say things to her. And so, you know, here you go home, and you know, should you eat that? Is that on plan? You know, here you've done all this hard work, why aren't you sticking to it? And guilt trip after guilt trip after guilt trip. And we all know that our weight loss journey, our life filled with good or bad habits, those things, the only person that can change them is us. The only way to change them is through personal transformation. And yes, anybody can change anything. Things I've learned over the years, and certainly things that in my own life, I've reinvented myself a couple of times. For anybody that knows me, knows that I have been 200 pounds 3 times in my life. And, every single day, I still make that decision, every single meal, every single minute, to stay on track. I always say there's two roads we can head down for every single decision of every minute of our day. And that's the left road. So maybe you want to call that the wrong road, and then there's the right road. We could call that the right road. And I don't know if you follow baseball, but Yogi Berra said, when you come to the fork in the road, I think he said, when you come to the fork in the road, take the fork or whatever. I can't remember, but it's a really valid line of just keep heading down the right path. Keep going down the road. And if 90% of the time we head off onto that road that is to the right, then we made 90% great decisions. And if 10% of the time we went to the left, that's okay too. If we go 4 steps forward, 1 step back, 4 steps forward, 1 step back, we're still 6 steps ahead. So just really understanding that, and not allowing other people to cause us to self-sabotage. And let's remember something: nobody can make you overeat. Nobody can make you binge. Nobody can make you eat by yourself and have bad habits. Nobody can make you do any of those things. You're the only person that allows other people, other talk, other situations to compromise your success. So, remember that we are always in charge of our own success. And, continuing to work on ourselves. There's so many great blogs and podcasts and inspirational messages and books, and we can truly change anything in our lives. If people can recover from drugs and alcohol and all kinds of different things, we can certainly recover from some bad habits that date way back in our lives, to things that we have learned to self-sabotage with. So I encourage each of you to check in with yourself, and if you're making excuses why you didn't make it through your week, and you're blaming those things on stress, on work, on family members, on not planning, on no meal prep, on no good choices available. If those are some of your excuses, sit down, write out what your excuses were last week, and then find the new words that you're going to use instead of the excuse. So and really ultimately the way that we make change is by taking responsibility for those choices and not blaming them on work, and not blaming them on being exhausted, and not blaming them on anybody else, but just taking responsibility for those choices. And sometimes our choices are almost like subconscious, where we just we feel like we can't help ourselves, but actually we can. but we have to have that plan in place for when that moment comes up. And so for you, your choices are different than mine. So it's important to put things in writing, write down what a typical self-sabotaging moment might be, what a typical deviation might be, and then on the right side, just like writing pros and cons, on the right hand side of the sheet, write what you're going to do in the future. Put that on an index card. Put I think I told you this the other day. I have a client who said, she wrote her whys down when she first started, and 80 pounds later, she still reads them to herself every morning. She gets up, she looks at her why index card, and she has a why index card in her purse and a why index card in her at her desk, so that she eats lunch at her desk. So yes, we can put things in place, make conscious decisions. I love the book called The Beck Diet Solution. Again, changing that cognitive behavior, those real behavior patterns can actually be changed. So anyway, I hope everyone is having an amazing Saturday, and hopefully I gave you some tips. My biggest tip for this week is, number one, get to the store today or tomorrow, or call Instacart, which is my favorite, and order up your groceries to be delivered to you. Meal prep. Don't eat the same thing day in and day out. That's not sustainable. Journal your food, water, exercise, supplements. Journal your emotions. So plan and journal. Make those your top 2 priorities this week, and you'll see amazing success. And if those are your top 2 priorities every single week, and you're putting yourself first, and you're going to be a better mom, a better boss, a better employee, a better wife, a better, a better, coach, whatever it is you are, you're going to be better when you make yourself better, and when you have that vibrancy